What's up, folks? Today I bring you Desperados 3, a real-time strategy game that I honestly became addicted to, and for me to say something like that about a game in this genre is very rare. But whenever you mix it with a Western theme and give it a world that feels lived in, what do you expect? As usual, if you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? And if you would prefer an audio-only version, the link will be in the description. I was provided a code from devs, so I did not pay the $50 price tag, but I'm about to tell you if it's worth it. My name is Tanner, and this is For Your Money, a different kind of review. What's neat about Desperados 3 is that it's a prequel to Wanted Dead or Alive, which is the first installment into the series. Why this is simply due to the fact that the Desperados series is a rather old one, so the devs wanted to be able to pull in new players to the game as well as the genre. So here in Desperados 3, we are introduced to John Cooper and how his gang came to be. We follow John, who is on a hunt for a bounty target named Frank. The deal is, this is much more than a bounty to John. It's personal. Along his journey, he crosses paths with Hector, Doc McCoy, Kate, and Isabel. How exactly do they connect to this journey? Well, see, eliminating Frank is a crucial part of taking down the DeVitt Company, a group of bandits that has terrorized something near and dear to every single one of these characters. Now, I know it may seem like a simple revenge story, but this game is much deeper than that. The world building is much deeper, and I'll go into that during the design. Every aspect of this story is interesting. Characters will chat with each other during the gameplay, unfolding their lives and why they hold odd things they have near and dear. It's a nice Western-themed piece of work that feels original, especially whenever you take into consideration how long the Western theme has been around. From movies like The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly, all the way to games like Gun or Call of Juarez. This story stands tall amongst those. Not only that, but the way the group interacts with each other, at first it's a little untrustworthy and then they build their trust up. These devs have bragging rights to this story. Desperados 3 is a real-time tactics game. It is a game compromised of trial and error, but with little room for error. The devs described this game as being hardcore, and believe you me, they were not joking. For those that are new to this genre, as contradicting as this is about to sound, this is a great game to start off on, considering it has quite the amount of tutorials. One thing to keep in mind in this game is it's built on the idea of you using your noggin to plan attacks and have A+ reaction. So let's get to the basics. Desperados 3 will see you taking control of multiple characters at a time, and trust me, it is easy to lose track of them when things get gritty. Using one is almost never an option, seeing as each character has their own set of abilities, and they tend to go hand in hand with each other. For example, Kate can flirt with some guards to change the direction of their visibility, while John or another character moves to a different location. But it doesn't end there. You would have had to have thought about Kate's placement of where she flirts with the guard, because once John or the other characters move, you're going to want to knock them out, and no one can be around to see it, as well as they can't be in the sound radius to hear the attack. Same goes for the other characters. If they kill a guard while Kate is flirting, you would have to take into consideration the surroundings for them as well. Yes, there is a lot to keep up with, and it only gets more intimidating as you progress with tons of enemies on screen, and just like your characters, guards have some abilities as well. Longcoats and dogs can see through Kate's disguises, and dogs can also sense you in bushes or behind walls. Trust me, this game will induce headaches, but that is how this genre works. And a lot of the gameplay I've shown, I've been sneaking around a lot. Now, why is that? So you see, this game is stealth heavy. You can go loud, yes, but no. You have the option to go loud with your guns, but the problem is your ammo is extremely limited, just like your health. And once you've alerted one enemy, you've alerted the entire camp, and now you have anywhere from 4 to 20 bad guys on your tail, and honestly, you're probably not going to make it out going loud. So stealth is highly advised and advertised. You will hide in bushes, hay bales, behind buildings, using height to your advantage and darkness to your advantage, and even swimming around in the water as John and Isabel. With that being said, there are tons of options for stealth. They never leave you hanging. And if I can give you one tip, it would be that you don't need to / have to kill every enemy. If you do this, then you're going to burst something in your brain. Killing enemies will become easier with Isabel once you find her, but even then, it can still be quite burdensome to go for everybody on the map. Now, when you do take out people, you once again have many options using combined character abilities, or if you've played Shogun Tactics, then you will find yourself familiar with this next feature. So in Desperados 3, you can activate a mode called Showdown Mode. What this does is it stops time, and you can select a character or characters to perform an action in sequence. This is best used when you need multiple enemies killed at the same time, so you assign multiple characters to take them out in one synchronized event. Note that Showdown will not stop time on harder difficulties. So if you are going to go hard on this game, then kudos to you, because I could not imagine Showdown in real time. With this useful tactic, there does come responsibility, and that is the fact that you need to keep track of these characters. So let's say you're going to kill 2 enemies with 2 different characters, but there's 3 people on screen. So whenever you kill those 2 characters, you're going to have to hide the bodies. And depending on the enemy locations, you'll have to hide the bodies in 2 different areas. So meaning you'll have to move 1 character at a time while keeping an eye on the other characters to ensure they aren't being spotted and ruining your 1 step at a time plan. Now if you can hide the bodies in the same spot, then you'll just select all characters and move them simultaneously to that hiding area. This game is tough, and above all, it is smart, but your goal is to be smarter and prepare your next plan of attack. It really is self-rewarding beating a mission. It's almost a bragging right in just how exactly you beat it and how fast you beat it. I had fun playing this game. I liked watching the brutal kills you could perform, from using a throwing knife, a syringe, all the way to a Gatling gun, and most notably, Isabel's curved blade. That thing is just brutal, bloody, and fast. Lastly, the missions in this game range anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. Yes, they can get long, but the length is mostly compromised of your trial and error moments to see what works where. Luckily, at the end of every mission, they give you a replay you can save so you can see what worked, and if you feel like it, you can try and beat your time on that mission later down the road. Now up next, we have design. Desperados 3 is a top-down point-and-click styled game, which is how you would want this. You want to be able to zoom in and out of the map as well as move it around. This helps you prepare for what's about to happen. Now, I didn't know what to expect graphically going into this game, but I can assure you I was impressed. From the looks of the waterfalls to the rivers, desert towns, and just how vivid the colors looked and how well they matched, it was impressive. One of my top pros for this game is how good of a job they did given the environments they lived in feel. Now, I mentioned how the world building was deep and matched the ideas of the Western era. So during a mission, you'll hear town members speak on how the world is evolving and companies are taking over and moving their homes so they can construct railroads or just industrial structures. You'll also overhear some of them talk about Satan robbing the banks and how the swamp is filled with witches and they need to move. One of the things that really caught me off guard was there was a dude who was talking about he wasn't prepared to move because he just wasn't used to change. These details made this world feel alive and gave it emotion. Plus, every conversation was different with each enemy. One group will talk about current events and the other group will talk about something happening in another state. All of this wouldn't be as meaningful if the voice acting sucked, and to no surprise, it was fantastic. Every line coming from the characters felt true to their emotions. If they were drunk, you could hear it. Same thing goes with frightened locals. As for the soundtrack, it blended good with the world. Nothing truly stood out, but that's nothing to fret over. So here's some clips of the overall design.
Get in the way! What's that? Who let the light go out? I got better things.
Scared of me or something? Keep it up. We almost got him.
You got it, amigo. Time
I
for the
know
ice.
they're here. Keep looking. Can't have come far.
31.
Well, I'd say you owe me one. Hey, now. Are you kidding me?
I'd say we're even now. Now, I suggest you return to your wagon. I'll handle things from here.
Well, like you handled those two?
Found you!
Just a scratch.
Alarm! Alarm! You see that?
My specialty. I'm Cooney on my way. I'll get close and
Where are
personal.
they? Show yourself!
Eyes on the target. The old and the new.
Something.
Ready for action.
I'm Cooney. Let's keep moving.
Get there above us! Whose tracks are those? What's that? Sure.
Keep still.
Was that a claw or just an axe?
How'd
I tell
On my way. Whoops.
Shut your trap.
Desperados 3 is a strong comeback, but not only for the series, but the genre as well. This game doesn't sell for $60. It sells for $50, meaning the devs had some sort of feeling that selling this game at $60 might be hard, and I can agree and see why. So I'm going to stand with their $50 price tag. This game is worth $50 out of $50. This game showed me a neat side of the real-time tactics. If anything coming out of this game, I appreciate the genre a whole hell of a lot more than I did beforehand. It will take brain work and determination, but the fun to be had is limited to whatever game plan you come up with in each mission. As usual, this was a phenomenal gaming experience. Maybe not for everybody, but that's fine. That's all I got, folks. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? If you didn't enjoy it, then hit that thumbs down. Till next time, fellas.